in answer to his question about the subjects.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Commands, talk today.
Oh, what a compliment. For that, I thank you.
What is happening now? They are homeless and hungry.
Now it's time for us to stand up to God or we'll fall to nothing.
It's time now for Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Listening to the general public, what the public is saying.
And welcome to Talk Today. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Let me tell you, I literally I was on the road driving and I passed Ray and I passed Dean. And then I just passed Sterling. And I know they were like, why is she not in the studio? I was like, don't worry. I'm on my way. And guess what? I was going to park in a little area, because I'm always, parking wrong. It doesn't matter. People just come and ask me to move the car. But this time, as I was going to park wrong, I saw a good parking. I got a spot. Thank you for wherever you are for going to lunch just at that moment. As you have heard, we're on Talk Today. So we'll be back right after these messages for some chat.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Live Communication.
Let your voice be heard.
Radio Commands, talk today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. Good afternoon, everyone. Catherine Tyson Sewell. I'm sitting in for Sterling this afternoon. And let me tell you, I don't know why I told him I could do it this week. I got a book signing tomorrow night. I've been losing my mind. That's why they saw me outside 10 minutes ago. I mean, really. Anyway, book signing, book launch tomorrow night. Next chapter, Cayman Bay 6:30. Just get that out of the way. Single Mama, Powerful Not Pitiful. And it's really a parenting book. So you can get something if you're a parent. If you're not a parent, come out. Anyway, in the studio, I'm going to introduce my guest because he has something that he wants to say. And I just found out that he has a great collection of local Caymanian books. So, by the way, that's awesome. Simon Boxall, no stranger to the Cayman public. How are you?
Good, Catherine. Thank you for having me on. Congratulations on your book. There's amazing news. You say Cayman Bay tomorrow.
Yes.
Right? 6:30?
6:30.
Wow, well
yes.
done. That's
and you
always
just reminded me that you were at the other one, and I just remembered you're in the photos.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a great book, that first one. I mean, what an achievement to actually do it. A lot of people think, maybe one day I will, but
it's not easy.
Find the time and commitment. Get down.
In the midst of your life,
right.
as a parent too.
For sure.
Yeah. But Simon, you and I'm looking at you and I'm like, gosh, I've known you 20 years now.
Probably more.
When we were young people.
Little kids running around.
Yes, it's
Before
lovely.
we were parents.
I've had a lot of Gen X in this week, so I'm always like, yes, Gen X, we're doing it, man. We are kicking butt, and we are actually preparing the younger ones to take their place. I love that part of it.
You got to get them ready. Next generation of our leaders.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So you are from the Hazard Management Cayman Islands.
Yes.
And tell us your role.
Well, I do communications, a little bit of kind of work on mitigation. Recently got the tsunami plan, working on the storm surge wave impact plan, and But really today, communication training and a training opportunity is what I'm really there. It's free.
Okay.
We're trying to build resilience and capacity, Catherine. So we do these community emergency response teams. Recently we announced that we're going to try to make East End the first tsunami-ready program, because we got this tsunami model that actually shows, it's not a very high probability, low probability, but if we get a tsunami wave, how far the water comes in and where. So hopefully we can get people safe if we have one of these things.
Right.
But the other thing is, we're concerned about our frail elderly, our bed-bound people, our seniors.
Right.
So these community emergency response teams that we're building are kind of very important, because they know what's going on in their community, who the people are that might actually need help.
Right.
And so we got a training coming up on the weekend of the 18th and 19th of this month at the Red Cross. And we've still got 16 spaces. And we want people who love Cayman, care about their community, want to build, make us stronger, to call and sign up for one of these 16 spots. They're going to learn some great skills. Am I talking too much?
No.
Okay. So first aid, CPR, search and rescue, learn how to put out fires, do damage assessment, because all this information is coming back into the NEOC during an activation. And so we need people that want to help, willing to do this. It's only 2-day training, 18th and 19th, but it's a full day. Starts at 8:30 in the morning, goes till 5:30. So on Saturday and Sunday, it's a bit of a commitment. But, we think it's really important, especially for our elderly that really, and single mothers and things. They took a hard knock after Hurricane Ivan, trying to juggle being a parent, keep the job together, repair the house.
One income family.
One income.
That's hard.
Stress. Yeah. And kids were out of school.
Yeah.
So these CERT teams are important.
Yeah.
And so I could give you the contact information a little bit. Don't let me leave before doing that.
No, for sure. Give me the number right now, because I'll go ahead and push it for you.
Keep pushing.
Yes, for sure.
945-4624. You can ask for Simon. You can also email me, simon.boxall@gov.ky. And we're going to do this training. You're going to learn lots of great things. You're going to be there with a fire extinguisher, learn more about disasters. It's pretty cool.
I like it because we're such a small place, right? So, every other person should know how to help because we're so small, and you just never know when something happens. If you're equipped to do that, then you could really save a life. You could, you could really make a lot of impact. So I love this.
Yeah.
And it's free.
I was just actually looking at the anniversary yesterday of the 1932 hurricane and Paloma. But what was really interesting about the 32 hurricane is just how much the community kind of pulled together. And we saw it probably after Ivan. You probably remember
Absolutely.
it too.
We did. We saw it then as well.
That sort of fortitude, that resilience, that helping one another, sort of kind of love almost for each other, that actually helped rebuild that community. The leaders of the families, like the Fosters and the Scotts and the Connells and the Tatums and all these, the people in the Brack, the Tibbets, came together and rebuilt after a knock.
Right.
And as we age, our sense of smell isn't as good, our sight, our hearing.
You bet.
Things are falling down around us.
Don't remember anything? Oh,
don't remember.
Goodness.
Yeah, we're getting.
Yeah, no.
So please,
that's huge.
We are looking for, like I said.
But you're right. Like all of these things are, are kind of diminishing. So we're not as alert, or we don't respond as quick. So these
even a bag of ice is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
For an old person.
Right.
Getting to the relief distribution site in the aftermath, or a district clinic.
Right.
Or getting to a shelter even.
Yeah.
If you know who the people are that don't have really good support networks, these community emergency response teams can be really important.
Yeah, for sure.
And so hopefully we'll get it across. We've got them in the Brack, Little Cayman, some communities, but there are definitely still some gaps. And we need to get this program, I think. So we've already got it.
I think so, for sure.
Yeah. But I know we don't have much time.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
do
let me
so
tell you,
appreciate
first
this.
of all, if they had told me that it was Simon Boxall, I'd say, no, I can't talk to him in 15 minutes. It's going to have to be longer because, come on, Simon.
Oh, thanks,
But
Catherine.
yeah, no, for sure. But this is a really important thing. What is it called?
It's the Community Emergency Response Team program. It's basically a grassroots in the community thing.
Repeat it again for me.
Community Emergency Response Team. It's going to take place on the Red Cross building, Holder Avenue. We're in a partnership with Red Cross on this program. We get support from the fire service too, because we do light search and rescue operations. You imagine after a hit from a hurricane or something or earthquake, we go door to door checking in the community.
Right.
You know who the vulnerable people are in your neighborhood, and probably going to be going by foot. I mean, remember, trees down everywhere.
Of course.
So there's all sorts of different things you can do in these. You don't have to be a search and rescue person. You might be the person puts up a table and feeds people, because government might try to get water and food.
Right. And so people at that point they'll get a certificate for it?
They'll get a certificate. It's totally free training. We don't want people just come along and say, oh, I want to get the free CPR first aid.
Right.
You know, because that's that costs money normally.
Right.
We're doing that for free.
Right.
But we want people actually who want to take part at the community level and help people in their hour of need.
Yeah.
Is really what we're hoping.
I like it. I think it's great. And also, during that time, like even during COVID, when we looked at, essential workers and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, yeah. They're going to get a vest. They're going to get a certificate. They're going to be registered in the database. They even get 10 days. If we activate for the national response mechanism, whoever they're working for has to pay them for 10 days by law.
I know 16 people right now that I can say I'll call.
Oh, good. Good civic-minded.
No, for sure. I think this is awesome.
People.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for coming up with that and doing it. Because
I know you got the minister, Mr. Bernie, set to come on too. That should be interesting. But
I know. It should be.
Congratulations again, Catherine. I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thank you, Simon. It means a lot. Yeah. It means a lot to hear that from you.
Being a single mom, I mean, it's not easy.
It's not.
To do it and still, be such a successful individual in the community when you're juggling.
Thank you
So much.
That's one of my points in the book. One of my points in the book is be productive, and that is really talking about how you continue to build yourself as you build your children, as you set an example for your children. Right. So don't forget about yourself too. And so, one of the main things that allowed me to be as successful as I am is continuing my education and ensuring that I was, building this vessel, really, that I could give back and that my children would benefit from that. So I always say, when you have to trade off from kind of searching for another person or looking for someone to save you, it's like you're saving yourself. So I'm very excited about it. It's a great book, and thank you for saying that. And I hope that I see you tomorrow.
You.
Thank you. But for November the 8th, so the following weekend then would be November 18th.
Right.
Then 19th would be the Community Emergency Response Team training.
Yes, it's free. We have refreshments and food.
Of course, for a whole day. Yes.
Yeah, the whole day. And
yes.
It's pretty serious. You've got to be there for all of it. You can't take off a part of it, unfortunately.
Right.
So it's a commitment.
Yeah, if you're serious about it, it's a commitment, right? So it's at the Red Cross.
Right.
And they can give you a call, 945-4624, 945-4624. Right. Or they can always email you, Simon.
It's my name with a dot in the middle at gov.ky.
Yes, at gov.ky. And Boxall is Boxall.
That's it.
I know you. I know you a long time, man. Thanks, you. And you've been doing a lot throughout the years as well, because you didn't start here. I know you were at GIS at one point, and you were doing stuff like this.
CITM back in the day.
I know. You were a reporter. We'd see you on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember.
Yeah, Catherine, we do go back quite a way.
Yes, absolutely. We know.
Great
we
job
know where
sitting in here for Dwayne. It's not easy.
Yes, well, for sure.
I sat in for Mr. O.C. Corner for 3 days, and it's quite.
It's not as easy as it looks.
No. Yeah, especially when you got difficult guest people calling in.
Yes.
Saying, it can be
challenging. The callers are interesting, right? But they usually call when Dwayne is here. Thankfully, Sterling is here. They love to talk to him, which is good. They think they want to listen to me, so that's good too.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, what are we going to do? You're going to send it to a break? So
Yes,
can
I
retreat?
am. Yes. What do you, Mr. Loxley? Yesterday, Loxley Banks, he's looking at the clock. I think it's time for a break. It absolutely is time for a break. Going to send us for a break. Obviously, I'm going to keep pushing this for you, Simon,
Thanks.
from the Hazard Management Cayman Islands. And this is Simon Boxall. We're talking about the Community Emergency Response Team training. I think it's amazing. And I'll keep pushing it. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thanks, friend. Have a great day and good luck tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We shall be back after these messages.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles until December 31st, 2023. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
They say variety is the spice of life. And that's why at Subway, we're introducing the new Boneless Hot Sub. Say what? The premium sub brings new ingredients like spicy breaded boneless chicken, French's crispy fried onions, and buffalo wing sauce, bringing a zesty and flavorful experience with every bite. Add some of your favorite veggies, cheese, and ranch sauce of your choice of freshly baked bread for the ultimate boneless hot sub. For a little spice in your life, try the new Boneless Hot Sub from Subway.
So good and tasty.
And make it a meal with a drink and chips or cookies. Subway. Eat fresh.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
and welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell sitting in for Sterling this afternoon, and I'm actually joined by Minister of Sports, Youth, Culture, and Heritage, Mr. Bernie Bush. Let me tell you, only in Cayman, when you're rushing, trying to get into this place, that you see the minister behind you walking with a sweatshirt, talking on his phone. Like, I'm just saying, like, there are some things about Cayman that you have to love. You know what I mean? Like, you got to take it all, you know, because sometimes we want to throw away this piece, we want to keep that piece. But there is something very, you know, just normal about that, and it's lovely. And you know, in other countries, you don't do that. You know, you find there's security and there's
things are changing. You know, I had an old man tell me the other day some of the controversy that's stewing around me right now. An old man said, you know, the other day, I said to a lady, how you doing, darling?
Right.
And said, the woman told me, said, don't you say that to me.
Yes.
And he's saying, like, I'm 70 years old.
Right.
And I said, yeah, they don't understand that in the Caribbean or here in the Cayman Islands, sweetheart, darling, is the terms of endearment.
Right.
And so this is where we've come to, our culture and our heritage. That
right.
Before, I mean, we know some people have gone overboard and done the wrong thing, but it is what it is. But it's, don't worry. A lot of the younger people that are coming behind, there's a lot of parents now saying to them, this is how it used to be, and it was so much nicer.
Right.
I've had so much young people say to me things like, why you all giving away so much status and residence? I mean, that's something that I've been telling my caucus and cabinet mates for the last 2-3. Every time you go and you meet with these young people, I'm not only talking about in so-called indigenous Caymanians. I'm talking about Caymanians who may be the first generation or the second generation Caymanians.
Right.
And their parents may have come from someplace else. And they're saying things like, no, man, what's going to be left for us if you all keep on giving away all this?
Well, yes.
And the thing is, we've given away to some people who are just here to take, and they're not giving back, and they don't have no desire to integrate or mix. And I must say there are two programs that I monitor very carefully, rugby and swimming, I used to talk about them being all white, all foreign, all that stuff.
Right.
And I have to take it, now I can honestly tell the people, say these are two programs that are integrating more than anybody else. And I'm talking about all levels of society, all colors, new Caymanians, old Caymanians, and that's good to see. And I'm hoping that the next generation will bring us back together. Or what the generation before me and my generation may have divided us, have gotten us divided. I'm hoping that the next generation is able to bring us back together as a country, because that's what we need.
That's great. So my only concern sometimes is that we also have to pay attention to the elitists.
Oh yes,
right?
Definitely.
So
that's always been here. Classism, some of us call it.
So even if the colors change, you know, if they start mixing, that's okay. You know, black, white, everybody, that's great. But if it's just the people with money versus the people the haves and the have-nots, we have to be careful about that. That's a big thing for me, right?
You know what I admire about Talk Today? I don't do press too much, because there's one thing that you can't misquote, and that's silence.
Right.
But when I come here, I was now with you, and I've seen Sterling do it as well. That topic that we just touching on before I go on to all this Heritage Day hoopla that's going on. It's taboo.
People have no problem with it.
But people don't want to talk about these problems that are causing some social problems.
Yeah, no,
and until we have conversation about these things, we will never know what the next side thinks, what's going on. Because I saw something during swimming that amazed me. First, there was a young lady who did a swim, and one of the coaches teased her and said, not bad for an Irish girl. And she just plainly stated, my mom may be Irish, not me, I'm Caymanian.
Right.
And you could see and then there was a young man, and we were standing there, and Broad Belt was on the stand getting a medal, which is common these days. And there was two men from two other bigger Caribbean islands there talking. And a little young boy who happened to be Caucasian, his parents both, the kids born here, grew up here, 14, 15 years old, and these two other guys, he said, excuse me, have respect for my national song. Not our national, my national song. Right. Please keep quiet. We do
Wow.
it, and I'm looking at this little kid talking to these two big guys, and he was talking to two guys who happen to be dark skinned.
Right.
One from Trinidad, I think one was from Barbados, and they were talking, the two big, and this little young man just climbed into their chest and says, have respect.
Like, listen, yeah,
So
exactly.
I
love
I'm
that.
looking at those type of things, and I'm praying to God. And also, when I saw the junior rugby team at an event, and the beloved Al Kiman was playing, I always do this. I look to see who's singing, who knows the words, who don't know the words, and I can say they were singing. Beloved Al Kiman.
Yes. So, the thing is, and it's very interesting, and we're definitely gonna get on what you came to talk about. But like you said, you come to talk today. We have no problem with facing the taboo subjects, because it really should be about that. I think at the end of the day, when you're giving away, say, like you're saying, we talked to Caucus about giving away status, whatever, with all these people. The thing about it is, people don't realize that you are giving away stuff. So you're opening the doors to people changing what your tapestry looks like, or what what the environment looks like. And it is such an important thing for people to recognize that just because you are from another place, it doesn't mean that you come to a new place and you take over. You bring your customs and your cultures. It's okay to enjoy your customs and cultures. I'm not saying to forget that.
We can even celebrate them with you.
Right, but to completely almost like forget that you're in the Cayman Islands, and the Cayman Islands are a people with a culture.
We are
and
to
can
blame.
we integrate?
We are to blame.
I think we are.
No, we are to blame.
We are. We have some blame for sure.
We have two different circumstances to blame. One, we had a set of leaders that, for some reason, because they were from that elite class, didn't really care. Then we have us Caymanians, or the Caymanians, by nature, we are very non-confrontational.
Right.
We marry people from the outside, and we make them overpower our culture.
Right.
Saying, well, all right, this and that. I mean, I've looked at different children. I've been talking with another Caymanian whose mother is from a Spanish country, father's a Caymanian, and this person is well qualified. We were just discussing it, and he always said his father always told him, "You're Caymanian."
Right.
My children, their mother happens to be from Jamaica. She herself was strong and told them, "You're Caymanian first and foremost. You may have some Jamaican heritage or culture, but you're Caymanian." And you have a lot of kids these days whose parents have confused them.
Right.
Or you're Honduran, you're Jamaican, you're a Canadian, you're English, you're this and that. But this is where they're born.
Right.
This is where they grew up. And a lot of them don't even know where their parents are from that well.
Right.
But the parents, and nature is, you always want to go where the most popular thing is. So if it's a football and you happen to be maybe have a Brazilian parent, or you're going to identify with Brazil so much,
right,
and you tend to forget, look, there's a reason why your Brazilian mother or father came to Cayman.
Right.
There's a reason why your English or whatever came to Grand Cayman.
Right.
And this is where our ministry, and it leads right into our subject, what I've come here to clarify, and that is, people have been making a lot of fuss, or making a lot of noise about where the Heritage Day is gone.
So before we get into that, because we're coming back, we got to take a quick break. But before we get into that, I want to just tie in what you were just saying before we started with the Heritage Day, is that the same thing that young man said to those two young men behind him: respect my national song, respect my heritage, respect my culture. And that, I think, is a part of what you're saying, that we are, we might have parents from different places, but we're born in Cayman, we live in Cayman. The reason why this nationality came to Cayman was for a reason. Respect where you are, and just honor it, right? And so we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back because we're going to talk about this hot topic. It is a hot, sizzling topic: Heritage Days. I'm here with Minister Bernie Bush. He is the Minister of Sports, Youth, Culture, Heritage. He is the Honorable Bernie Bush. Are you? Is that? Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah. All right. All right. And this is Catherine Tyson Sewell sitting in for Sterling this afternoon. We'll be back with more talk today.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
How can you make a classic BLT sandwich even better? Well, by adding tuna. The land meets the sea in Subway's new sandwich, the Tuna BLT, available for a limited time. The Tuna BLT is exploding with flavor. Imagine crispy, juicy bacon strips on top of tuna, fresh lettuce, and slices of tomato, topped with your favorite sauce and choice of freshly baked bread. Enjoy the best of both worlds with the Tuna BLT from Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before with more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
CUC Advisory. Customers are advised of a scheduled outage on Friday, November 10th between 9 a.m. and 12 noon for portions of Prospect Drive in Prospect, including Bonnie View Avenue, Rosemary Street, Bay Island Avenue, Loch Lomond Way, Ripon Drive, Oxford Close, Bayside Court, Roxborough Street, and Rock Crest Street. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell. I'm sitting in for Sterling this afternoon, and I'm talking to the Minister of Sports, Youth, Culture, Heritage, Mr. Bernie Bush, the Honorable Bernie Bush, and we're talking about all sorts of things culturally, but you came specifically to talk about the hot topic, Pirates Week coming up, Heritage Days.
Thank you. When Sterling calls you, you're going to address this because I know you like to address it, and I know you're very serious about heritage and culture. And even walking in just now, something happened. To your producer, Miss Susan, who is very cultural aware and stuff person, she said, "You're going to tell me, or you got to keep me in suspense?" And DJ Lynn, who happened to walk in, chipped in, and he simply said, "But it was you that brought back the Heritage Days." And that is a fact. When I took over as Parish Week Director, there was no emphasis put on the Heritage Days.
Right.
And I started to pump money into it to get the Heritage Days. Now, what we've noticed and what we've done our research and done and seen is that people, 90%, 95% of people go to the Culture Days. And we've talked to people, oh yes, one of us is chosen, and we go there, stand up in line, get all the food for everybody and bring it. It's about the food.
It is. It's completely about the food.
So this thing kicked off, and I want to say this. One of the people out there pushing this narrative, I want to let that individual know that also part of Caymanian culture and heritage is taking care of your children. I'll leave it at that. So I'll leave it at that. So they can talk about culture and heritage, charter, because I don't take care of children and come and talk about the rest of it. But what we've done is because as we are starting to slowly start to educate the people, if we have passed, it will not be any Discovery Day anymore. Okay. It's going to be Emancipation Day, because we now have official maps that show Grand Cayman and Jamaica in 1500. So how could Christopher Columbus discover us in 1503 when we've already got maps saying Grand Cayman on it?
No, I think that's going to be a hotter topic.
Oh, I love it. But
that is going to be something, because all this time we're talking about Discovery Day and Christopher Columbus, and now you're throwing a little wrench into it.
Of course, Christopher, because everything, you know where Christopher Columbus is from, right? So people this is to the victor goes the writing of history and goes the spoils. But they've also taught us when we were growing up that there was no slaves in Grand Cayman.
Right. Which is not true.
We have all the facts saying different.
Right.
So now there's a piece
there would not need to be emancipation if there were no slaves.
Thank you. And then there was Emancipation Day before, but it was cancelled in 1961. Now, here's where Cayman is unique. When the King of England decreed that all slaves must go free, there was a 4-year apprenticeship period. Grand Cayman slaves, the people here refused to do it. Like a year later, or 9 months later, the governors, who was the governor for Jamaica and for Grand Cayman, came down here, called all of the people, all of the slave owners, onto his boat in the harbor, and told them, since you wouldn't do it, it's done as of tomorrow. And that evening he called a meeting and told the slaves, you're free. So unlike the other Caribbean islands, we did not go through an apprenticeship period.
Right.
We were the first freed slaves. That's a unique part in our history. These things must be taught. We must make our young people know that we're unique. We must make them know that we have a lot to be proud of too.
Right.
So these are the things. So when we have all of the stuff leading up to Emancipation Day and Emancipation Week, the Heritage Days, as they were like a priority, have been moved.
So you're shifting it.
Shifting it.
Okay.
But to keep it still, during Pirates Week, on Thursday and Friday next week, November the 16th and 17th, when you go into town, Northside will have their people there, East End will have their people, Bordentown. So the people that want to sell from each district will be there.
Where?
In town, right in the center of town.
Right on the Cardinal Avenue.
That area there, yeah. So, okay. So there is. So I don't want anyone to come to try to play. You see, what happened is stupid season. What's happening? The elections is right around the corner, and everybody's lining up.
It's not right around the corner.
Sweetheart, these people are playing a game.
Starting.
Now you haven't seen them for the last 2.5 years, so it's time to start to show their hate. Now they don't do nothing except what my father said the first time he heard about going in some room and blogging and writing a statement but you're not man enough or woman enough to put your name. At least that part has changed most of the time now. But he said, well, wherever this place is, it's going to be a place where nobodies go to try to be somebody.
Okay.
But if some of these people would ask questions first and do it in a way, or even call the minister to find out what's happening. But anyone who knows me should know, I am not liked by a certain sector of this country because of my die-hard Kimanian beliefs, because of my standing for certain things, and because everything about me is Kimanian. So, and I don't make no, like some people who try to apologize, I don't in any way or form apologize for our culture, for our heritage. When people hear about Kiman don't have culture, Kiman don't have, I mean, I've gone off on some people. It's a good thing they didn't report, because I've said some things to some people that are not nice, because right away I've said to them, well, let's talk about the culture for your country. What? And I can list off a lot of bad things. So don't go there.
Right.
And that's what I keep telling people. When I go to other people's country, I respect. As the Minister for Culture and Heritage, I'm invited to the Filipino Independence. I'm invited to the Indians' Diwali. I'm invited to every national invites me as a culture, and I go there and I tell them, we respect, but I want you while you're here, get to know us, mix with us, integrate with us. There's a reason why you're here.
I've heard you say that on the mic.
Yeah, I'm not apologizing, and I'm telling people, get to know us. And if you're a Kimanian and you're married to someone from another country, do not make them make you believe that what we have here is anything less than theirs. It's not. These people here was most resourceful people that you could ever find were the older Kimanians, and especially the women.
All right. I tell you what, we're going to take a break for the news, but I want you to stay on with me.
I have an emergency meeting that I've been called to.
You have to go?
I have to go. When the premier calls, you go.
Wow. Okay.
But I want to say thank you. I know we got that clear. The Heritage Days have not been cancelled.
Okay.
You'll hear more, and I'll come back on to talk about the emancipation stuff. We're going to put out
when is that? When?
It's May next year.
Okay.
So we're going to educate the public on these things. It's time for us, Catherine, to teach our real history.
Right.
You ask how many children they've gone to school and what they've been taught about the Kimana. Nothing.
Right.
You know that because you're a mother of 3 or 4 kids.
Right. 3.
3.
Right.
My apologies. 3 kids. And unless a lot of stuff, if we didn't teach our children, they're not going to get. But I must say, working with the education department now is a pleasure. Mark Ray, Miss Julie, it has been a pleasure. Anything that's factual, they want it. They want it in the schools. We've even done things like send people away to school a book to learn how to write books. So now when we make our Kimana alphabet book, A won't be for apple, A will be for agouti.
Okay. All right. Sounds
It'll be
good.
everything Kimanian.
All right. I have to go. I have to take a break for the news, or they'll scream at me. You have to go because the premier expects you.
Yeah, he wants us across
All
at
right.
1 o'clock.
But thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and Susan, thank you, and Lynn for just now for asking the questions you did. It brought me back to reality where I've always supported the Heritage Days, and I will always push the Heritage Days.
Right. All right. We'll be back with more right after this.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The RCIPS and Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage are advising the public of upcoming road closures to facilitate this year's Pirates Festival activities. Albert Panton Street and the eastern section of Cardinal Avenue will be closed from 6 p.m. on Friday, November 10th, till 6 a.m. on Monday, November 13th. And on Saturday, November 11th, Seafarers Way will be closed between Warwick Drive and Fort Street. The intersections of Seafarers Way with Goring Avenue and Shedden Road will also be closed from 1 p.m. till 8 p.m. In international news, the owners of a Colorado funeral home are accused of giving fake cremated remains to some bereaved families, among other allegations. Jan and Carrie Halford were arrested by authorities in Oklahoma on Wednesday. Authorities found 190 sets of decaying remains last month in the couple's funeral home, some dating back to 2019. They are facing charges of abuse of a corpse, theft, money laundering, and forgery. Authorities began investigating the Return to Nature funeral home on October 4th after neighbors reported a foul smell spreading from the facility. U.S. actors are expected to resume work after their union agreed a tentative deal with Hollywood studios to end a 4-month strike. SAG-AFTRA reached agreement with the Alliance of Motion Picture and TV Producers in a unanimous vote. The shutdown, combined with a separate writers' strike, paralyzed the entertainment industry and disrupted numerous major films and TV shows. Actors have been calling for better pay and safeguards on the use of artificial intelligence. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell. I am sitting in for Sterling this afternoon. And the Minister of Culture, of Sports, Youth Culture, Heritage, he flew in and flew out. He's gone. So you can give me a call, 949-6990. I'd love to hear from you. Or 925-3261. That is the WhatsApp for the phone. So WhatsApp 925-3261 or 949-6990. As I wait for your calls, I will go ahead and remind you of a couple of things. So Cayman for Kids, they're having a great little thing. Sunday, November the 12th, it's going to be over there at Sandbar. Going to have a nice get together, a little festival, a little thing. It's a pancake breakfast, barbecue, lunch. Sounds amazing. It's going to be free for all the kids, and the adults will do a donation. And that is 345 Jeep 345 and a couple of other people. Thank you all so much for that. I love that idea. So Cayman for Kids, November 12th, 10 to 4. And then there's also going to be a strongman competition type of thing at Lion Center. It's going to be November 13th, which is Holiday Monday, and that's 1 to 5. And the entrance for that is $5 for kids, $10 for adults. I want to be at both of those things. I'm very, very interested. And then also reminding you about, of course, my book launch. That's going to be on Friday, 6:30 at Next Chapter, Camana Bay. This Friday, November 10th. Single Mama, Powerful, Not Pitiful. Would love to see you there. As well as, don't forget, we were talking to Simon Boxall earlier from the where's he from? Anyway, it's a community emergency response team training, and it's going to be at the Red Cross. It's free, and there will be CPR, search and rescue. You'll get a certificate after. You'll be ready to help. 945-4624. It's going to be November 18th and 19th. You can call him at 945-4624 or simon.boxall@gov.ky. And would definitely encourage everybody to go do that so that we're ready in the event of a disaster. We have a caller on the phone. We'll go to the phones. Good afternoon, caller. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon to you, Miss Tyson.
Hi there. How are you?
Just fine.
Haven't heard your voice in a while.
Oh, yeah, it's the minister, Mr. Barnett, here with the culture thing. Incidentally, Simon is from hazard management. I'm pretty sure that's where his main job is, but he's an all-rounder. He does many, many things, wears many hats. The Boxall does. Thank him so much for all he does. With the abolition of slavery, it's good that we're going to start celebrating that again. I just wondered which day is it, because the document that Governor Sligo wrote and brought here, the British governor in Jamaica, he came here on the afternoon of the 2nd of May, 1835, but the document was first read out by Captain Anthony Pack, who accompanied him here from the 84th Regiment. Captain Pack was from. Incidentally, Captain Pack was a colored man. Many people think he was a white man. He was not. He was a colored man. He was an army captain, not a naval captain, and he came on his own vessel supplied to him by the government there in Jamaica, and he was of the 84th Regiment there. He first read that document out on May the 3rd, 1835, at where is now the museum. It was a courthouse just built in, I think it was 1828 or 1829 that was built, which we all know now. It's a museum. It was also used for court purposes in the early 70s. You wouldn't remember all that, but I knew very well. And then on the 5th of May, 1835 in Borden Town, and then on the 6th of May, the document was read out at the St. James Houses, or Pedro Castle, as we all call it, the Eden's family residence. Hello, can you?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering. Sometimes, the phone gets cut off.
I am hearing you for sure.
What that document actually did, because slavery was already abolished 10 months before that, at the stroke of midnight, not to be a finite time, July the 31st, 1834. The stroke of midnight on July the 31st, 1 second after that is August the 1st. That's why all the countries around us, particularly Jamaica and the big countries that had sugar plantations, they celebrate August the 1st as Emancipation Day. Well, what that document actually did was end the apprenticeship labor system, because the slaves were to have worked for 4 and 6 years for virtually nothing or for little or nothing. And system implemented by the British government to appease or placate the slave owners for the loss of the services of their slaves, because they had paid for those slaves. We have to be very practical with these things. There's it's a harsh, cruel brutal time, but I have to be practical and tell what is the truth. It wasn't working here, that system of apprenticeship for the 985 slaves that were here. There were 116, I think it was, slave owners of those slaves, because several slave owners had only one slave, just one. And that document ended that apprenticeship system here in Cayman. Now that system went on in the big colony of Jamaica, to the southeast of us, where they had thousands and thousands of slaves, huge sugar plantations, thousands of acres each. Many of those sugar plantations were owned by British members of Parliament. They made millions of pounds out of Jamaica. It was a real gold mine to them. And there were huge slave uprisings in Jamaica. Over 50,000 slaves over many years were involved in uprisings there. And that's one of the main reasons I've always believed in that, why slavery was abolished from 1833 for all the colonies here in the Caribbean. Anyhow, that no longer matters. But that document that was written by the British governor of Jamaica, his title was Lord Sligo. His real name was Peter Brown Hoare. He was an Irishman from the district of Sligo in Ireland, given that title. They were all given lords or earls titles. He wrote it and brought it here himself. It would behoove us to read that document carefully and see what it really says.
Right.
What it really says, because he was against freeing the slaves. He says so in the document. He says, though I think it's an injustice and an inconvenience for the slave owners to be deprived of the services of their Negroes, I am commanded to write this document. He was ordered by an edict or fiat, imagined by the British government, to write that document. In the same way, the British governor here in Cayman now, if they receive an edict or a document signed by the reigning monarch, it has to be obeyed. It has to be obeyed. The instructions in that document, they can register their disapproval, and we can refuse, the elected members of Parliament, to implement it into law. We can say so, but then the British governor has no choice but to say, I will write it into law myself. As we know, you know better than I, you're better educated than I am. And that is it. But that's what that document does. So I'm curious to know, which day are we going to celebrate as Emancipation Day? Will it be the 3rd of May, the 5th of May, the 6th of May? Or is it going to be the original 1st of August or July the 31st, midnight, so forth? Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Which day will it be?
Yes, definitely.
I think possibly the 3rd of May would probably be the right one, for there it was read out at what was now the museum. It was the courthouse on the 3rd of May, 1835. But of course, you can check this with other people who would know more than I do. But I just thought I'd put that out.
Yeah, well, he said it would be in May, and it would take the place of Discovery Day.
Yes, yes. Well, Columbus supposedly. Of course, we know he came here with a chart, a crude chart. People have been here before. Someone has been.
So
that's a known fact now.
So whichever day is Discovery Day, well, it looks like it's May 20th, which is a Monday. Yes. I'm just looking. So he's saying it'll replace that, but I guess he'll come back and talk about that.
Yeah, Yes, I'm glad Barney's there. I know him very well. And I'm glad that we're going to bring that back. It behooves us to represent history as it truly was. That doesn't say that we resent or, want to pull away from the British government in any way at all. I would never say that I would support that, but I'm just trying to show facts as they really are, because that's a little part of my job, trying to show people our history. There's a lot more to it than that, and there's a lot more to how slavery came to be abolished and what happened during slavery time, and many things more about it that I can tell people if they want to know. Thank you so very much, Mr. Tyson, for taking my call.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for calling as well. And, lots of history, lots of information, So I'm trusting that they're doing their due diligence, before anything like that will be decided. But thank you so much for that. Lots of history information. Really appreciate that. Thank you for calling this afternoon. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back with more Talk Today right after these messages.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets are red hot and moving. Somebody's going to win, and why not you? Get your tickets now through Rotary Central members, Rotary Central ticket sellers, online at eventpro.ky, A.L. Thompson's, Home Depot, Funky Tangs on Shedden Road, Rotarian Annie Rose Scott next to Rubis in West End, Kim and Brown. Grand prize $40,000, second prize $4,000, and 6 $1,000 prizes. Event day is Saturday, November 25th at Salty's in Grand Harbor, Red Bay. Your $25 ticket can win Rotary Central Music Extravaganza, a major fundraiser taking care of community projects by Rotary Central. Rotary Central, NPO number 232, creating hope in Cayman and the world.
Ahoy, ye landlubbers! This Saturday, November 11th, navigate your way to Hogstye Bay to see our boat sail the high seas of Grand Cayman in our cardboard boat regatta. Crash the shores of Georgetown to get your ARG on for the Las Tortugas Pirates Landing and Float Parade starting at 3 p.m. But first, prepare to walk the plank and swim. Sign up for the Flowers Harbor half-mile swim on Monday, November 13th. Sponsored by Flowers Group, Cayman Airways, Bacardi, Corona, Pepsi, and the Cayman Islands Aquatic Sports Association.
Brandsour's Home Gallery 54th birthday celebration with store-wide savings. Save on appliances, faucets, tubs, toilets, shower doors, vanities, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, and more. Starting Monday, November 6th, save 30%. Monday, November 13th, the savings will drop to 20%. And Monday, November 20th, they will drop to 10%. It pays to shop early and save more. Brandsour's Home Gallery 54th birthday celebration savings on now through November 25th. Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for more details.
I love Pizza Boat. It's yummy.
It has my two favorite things combined, cheese and boats.
Pizza Boat makes pizza way more fun.
Hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Kids, now Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. Lunch or dinner, let Pizza Boat bring the fun. Pizza Boat, a Cayman twist to pizza, bringing fusion ingredients from all over the globe to give you locally inspired fresh pizzas all day, every day. Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Pick up or delivery 949-0000 or order online www.pizzaboat.ky.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, in partnership with Movember Cayman Islands, will be hosting a prostate and colon cancer awareness meeting at the Lions Community Center on Thursday, November 16th at 7 p.m. with guest speakers from HSA, Health City, and Doctors Hospital. Free PSA testing will be available. For more information on prostate and colon cancer awareness, be sure to attend the awareness meeting at the Lions Community Center on Thursday, November 16th at 7 p.m.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson, I'm sitting in for Sterling this afternoon. Catherine Tyson Sewell. And I'm always telling Sterling, don't forget my last name. Anyway, listen. Simon Boxall is from the Hazard Management Cayman Islands. I apologize for that. I know Simon from so many different areas, okay? But there's that workshop going on November 18th and 19th. I have a couple of other announcements. I've been telling you guys about Vocals for Locals. It's going to be the grand finale. So 22 finalists will be competing. It's going to be Friday, November the 24th. I was saying it's at the Lion Center because that's where it was last year. It's not. It's actually at the Hard Rock Cafe. So just letting you guys know, there's Vocals for Locals that you don't want to miss. 22 finalists, and they are amazing. You're looking around wondering, okay, but which celebrity came through that door and I didn't realize? Okay, so Vocals for Locals, November 24th on Friday, and it will be at the Hard Rock Cafe. Also, a couple of other things. Do we have a caller on the line? We have a caller? All right. We'll go to the phones in a couple of seconds. We have just reminding you of the District Financial Workshop. One just happened on Wednesday in West Bay, John Gray Memorial Church Hall, but there'll be some more next week, Wednesday, East End, November 15th, at the East End New Testament Church, as well as the following Wednesday, Georgetown, November 22nd, Red Cross Headquarters, and Bordentown, November 29th, Bordentown Public Library. The admission is free, and it is for the International Men's Day in honor of that, to get your finances in order. And it's you're able to manage your financial stress. We all have financial stress, so this would be a good opportunity for you. It's going to be hosted by Inspire Cayman Training. All right, we have a caller, so we'll go to the phones. Good afternoon, caller. You're on Talk Today.
Yeah, good afternoon, Catherine.
Hi there.
Okay. I was concerned about the 1-800 number.
Yes. So it seems that that's not working right now. Are you calling the 949 number?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't understand why they're taking so long to get the 1-800 toll-free number back in order. Why is it taking so long?
Yeah, and that complaint should definitely be logged.
Excuse me?
I said that complaint should be logged for sure. So I'm not able to answer that because I'm guest hosting for Sterling. So maybe Sterling would be able to answer that. So I will leave that message for him and see what the issue is, and I guess they just have to pursue that for sure, because that's your toll-free number that you're able to call and not take your credit, right?
Yeah, because that's another thing now that they're taking away from poor people to talk on the radio and say what we have to say without having to rush to say what we have to say because we can't afford to pay for the phone call. I mean, I don't understand why it's taking so long for them to get this back in line. I don't understand that at all.
Right. It's a great question. You're right. So, like I said, I'll leave that question so Sterling can address that and just find out what's happening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that call this afternoon. Yeah, for sure. There used to be an 800 number, so that caller was very valid with the reason. Susan, why don't we have the 1-800 number? Because that's what the caller was asking about. Okay, so apparently they're having issues with it, but you can still try it. So for the caller that just called in, you can still try the number and you might get through. But some people are struggling with getting through. But go ahead and try that for sure. That's the issue. Do you have another caller? We're going to take a break. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the all-new Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles until December 31st, 2023. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
And good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell. I'm sitting in for Sterling. We have a caller, so we're going to go to the phones. Good afternoon, caller. You're on Talk Today.
Hey. Oh, good afternoon, Catherine.
Hi there.
Hey, me again from the Brock. Just calling to keep you company.
Okay,
I can
thank
see that
you.
you're busy there. I was watching you on the YouTube, but I can see you're doing it, so I'll call and take up a couple of minutes.
That's great.
I just want to, and I'll talk about fruits today, but anyway, if you bring it up, I'll entertain you with it.
Yeah, Susan just says to just respect and leave her a couple of guavas. That's it.
Yeah, you tell her I didn't take all of them. I'll stop cross and see if anything left out there. So
okay,
all right.
Great.
I just want to mention, what a gentleman just called about the lines. I mean, it's kind of frustrating that people can't use their toll-free number, the 800 number to call in, because that's one of the reasons that a lot of people hasn't been calling in. If they don't have internet, they can't use that access that they don't have. So it's kind of it's just taking people away from what they used to love to call and either voice their opinions on things or have a little fun chat with people on the radio. But it really needs to be looked into. But I guess you all would do our best and get that up and running for the people. But I just want to ask you a question, because I know that you're really outspoken person and your voices your opinion on when people ask you things. But I would like to ask you to be honest with me and tell me because Sterling not there, and I know I would put him on the spot, but what is the purpose of the government having a senior citizens, either the celebration for the senior citizens or functions for the senior citizens or the Skyping for the senior citizens? Could you answer me what is the reason and the purpose for them doing that if they're not upholding to what they form as a committee to do these things?
Okay, so the question is, what's the use of them doing the things for the seniors if what was the other part of the question?
If they're not carrying it out in the proper procedure that they're doing it, what I'm getting at is some people, let's say the Skyping, some people are receiving and some ain't. As far as I know, I watched the meetings on YouTube. I mean, via the Cayman TV, and as far as I understood, the clear across the board, they said all senior citizens would receive their upgrade on their pensions, or they're receiving on their Skyping that government allocated to them, from whatever it was to the $9.50 to the $12.50 that they're doing now.
Okay.
And I'm clearly getting phone calls and people calling me and telling me, hey, could you say something on the radio, because I'm not receiving nothing that government is saying that they're allocated out there to the seniors, and some is getting, and the majority ain't. And it seemed to me like some individuals in certain districts, especially here in the BRAC, I can't speak for those in Grand Cayman. I know a gentleman in Grand Cayman called me about the NAU situation with him, and I know a lady spoke to me about the NAU situation with her. And that is another border that government formed that to me is not beneficial to the people of Cayman. It was formed under the ministry that it was to help the Cayman people, but clearly it's helping some and not helping all. Now this Skyping that was supposed to be there in the assistance program that they just came out with last week, if I'm remembering correctly, or week before, 2 weeks ago, that they're putting in place for all of these senior citizens to receive what they're eligible for. No one has gotten any information there. I know it probably hasn't been right across the board passed yet, but it's something that they're putting in place. But even to the stipend that they had already put in place, majority of the people here on the BRAC is not receiving what they're supposed to be receiving. So my question on the radio to anyone that's listening, why did government introduce these entities into the system, or these acts into the system, if it not across the board for all senior citizens? Right. That is unfair to some.
Right. I definitely agree. And that seems to be something that needs to be checked out.
And it needs to be checked out because people, Catherine, let me tell you something. Here in the BRAC, one old lady said she had wished that the price of gasoline had went up $1,000 a gallon. It's not far from that.
Well, why did she wish that?
No. Someone had did her something bad, and she wanted the traffic to slow down. So that's the wish that she made.
Well, she's part of the problem. She wished it. She needs to stop wishing these things. She's part of the problem.
It was a joke that
I hold her
that
responsible.
went
I'm
across.
sorry.
Yeah. It was just a joke that went across the island, but we here on this island, and things are bad.
The universe heard it.
People are. Yeah, people. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
People are struggling. Yeah. I quite agree. I quite agree with you. But people are struggling here in every form and in every way.
Right.
And it's difficult for the elderly, especially. They have to have. First of all, they have to have their proper intake of whatever they eat. They can't eat certain things because of the diabetic
Well,
or
absolutely.
whatever
Yes,
circumstance.
their dietary
And-
needs are different.
Yeah, and for them to not have that amount of income, for them to freely get what they need to keep their balanced diet,
Right.
and have to struggle with the little bit that they have in their hand,
Right.
and yet I spoke to a lady, and she haven't even heard.
All right.
Yeah, she haven't even heard anything about this Skyping or the assistant program that they're coming up with.
Definitely.
And that, to me,
she needs to,
that is neglect.
That needs to be looked into. So what about your community development officer over in the BRAC? Maybe you could, liaise with her, connect with her in order for you all to get to the bottom of this, because this is, it was raised and we appreciate it being raised and recognizing that the senior citizens, did need something more. So that was a great thing that was done. So I think just following up and having somebody on top of it, there must be DCFS over in the BRAC as well as the community development officer. I think that's who you need to be lodging this complaint to, because it is, it's pretty serious. I do have a caller on the line though, so I want to go back, go grab that caller and see what they have on their minds, because they've been holding for a while. But feel free to call me back if you wanted to continue this conversation. But definitely, I would look into getting it to the right people that can look into it, because it is a very serious thing.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you for calling me. We have another caller. We'll go to the phones. Good afternoon, caller. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mama. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
Just a situation here that's going on here in the BRAC with Mr. Raymond Scott.
Okay.
At the West End. He's about to lose his house, and it seems like no one can assist him in any shape or form. He has 2 young children and a wife, and it seems like no one here can even help this man to try to keep his house.
Right.
And he did a lot for the community, and he is still doing it, but it ain't no one out there to help him.
Okay. So
I can't understand, because you got people in government. That's why you got MLAs here for in the BRAC to try to help people who can't really help themselves.
Right. Okay. So I think so the question that you're asking, are you appealing for people to assist him, or?
Yes, he needs some help, because if he loses his house, where is he gonna go?
Right.
He has nowhere else to go.
Right. So, I mean, I know these situations are very serious, and I also know that they're also backstories, right? And sometimes the backstory doesn't matter, clearly, because you're in the situation, so the situation needs to be rectified. But I do know that there are things that lead up to certain things. People don't just lose their houses like that. It's just like they have it and then they lose it. It doesn't work that way. You know that, right?
Here in the BRAC, it relates in a whole lot of what is going on. So that's another problem.
Okay.
But honestly, someone should even try to make an effort to try to even help.
Right. So the help then, what type of help do you think would be financially? So assist with, because I mean I understand that he has the money to pay. I mean that's what I'm getting information about, that he has the money to pay, but the bank won't accept the money right now.
But that's another thing that I really
So it doesn't
can't
seem like
understand
it's a financial issue right now.
But anyway, I just want to hope that someone can actually look into it a little bit more. just to help him out.
Yeah. Maybe somebody could go to the bank and advocate for him just to see what the situation is.
Well, it would be good for him because it took a lot for the Cayman Islands.
Right. Absolutely. So I think that would be a good idea, maybe to advocate for him at the bank to see what the situation is.
Okay,
But thank you for that concern, because we should be our brother's keeper and be concerned about other members of the community.
Yes, ma'am. Anyway, have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too. You have a great afternoon, and thanks for calling this afternoon. We will take a quick break, and we'll be back with more talk today.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before with more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
The Business Buzz. Each and every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 7:30 a.m. Brought to you by
Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
It's time for Vigoros' annual customer appreciation and seasonal celebration. Join Vigoro Sunday, November 19th from noon to 3:30 p.m. on Agricola Drive. Save 10% on early bird Christmas shopping with Vigoro's best selection of home accessories, stunning ceramics, furniture, and more. Everybody's welcome, with fun the whole family will enjoy. Don't miss Vigoro's customer appreciation and seasonal celebration. Visit us on Facebook and Instagram for details.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Welcome back to Talk Today. I got a different driver. I got a different person under the hood of the car. Hi, Miss Anita. I was working with Susan. I looked down on my phone. I looked up, and I was like, well, she looks different today. Quick change. Listen, y'all keeping me on my toes, man, for real. This is Catherine Tyson Sewell. I am here sitting in for Sterling this afternoon, and we have a caller on the line. So we'll go to the phones again. Good afternoon, caller.
Hey.
You're on Talk Today.
Hey, Catherine, me again.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm going to keep you on your toes.
Thank you.
I just want to comment on the gentleman that called just now regarding Mr. Raymond on his endeavor for trying to secure something for his family, basically. I spoke yesterday on OC show with the Minister Brian was on there at the time.
Right. And
we understand that things are being looked into regarding his situation. And I had a good conversation yesterday with him regarding that. But the facts of life is that the security that he needs are not there.
Okay.
Because the bank is putting the strain on him because they are refusing the down payments that he has eligible there to pay them for them not to have the closure on his property and his home.
Okay.
Because he's trying to secure it for his children, which would make any man come out of his boots in order to fight for that kind of purpose. Now, my argument yesterday was, and if they took it as an argument, so let it be. But for the government, which they created, the bank that dealing with Mr. Raymond's property, home, they created this bank. And all I was saying to them yesterday was, due for the fact of them come into an agreement, get in a meeting at the bank, and go into the board members and asking them to reconsider having time set aside that Mr. Raymond could properly get something going where they can accept his payment, his down payment, and his monthly payment to keep his property. Now, I'm not certain if that is going to be put in place, but it's something that they're saying that they're trying to get something worked out for assistance that he can keep his home. Now, that isn't on paper. That is only word of mouth. And I'm saying that those banking, the bank that he's dealing with, or that dealing with his property that has a foreclosure on it, already has information out there that his property is already being paid or bought, meaning it's just a matter of time before the bank or the purchaser put him out of the place, out of the property.
Right.
Now, to me, it could go further than that, or it could be something, but this is the story that I'm getting from the horse's mouth. I'm not getting this from someone that's different that calls me from and let me know. This is something that has to be dealt with directly by the banking system itself and Mr. Raymond Scott himself. If some of those that in government that has dealing with this through ministry or whatever, if they have to sit in on this meeting on regarding this man losing his home, he has 3 young children, he cannot sit and allow people to take from under his feet what his parents left for him that he can't hand down to his children. It is impossible for any man to sit and allow that to happen. And Catherine, what I am saying, we are here in the Cayman Islands. We are supposed to be a helping community. We are supposed to be people that help one another. We're supposed to be people that are bind with one another to go through each other's problems and bear each other's burdens. And we are here destroying one another. And we can't wait to see somebody lose something such as this. If I had in my possession today, I know for certain I would give him whatever I could in order to stop it. But it doesn't work that way, because whoever made the agreement with the bank doesn't want to change their policies of not receiving the down payment and the monthly payment from Mr. Scott. And that is a problem that has been created through some entity, and no one wants to come forward and say, listen, we made a mistake. Let's see if we can get this changed. This is what needs to happen in order to him to keep his property.
Yeah. So what I can say about that, and I'm hearing you, and I absolutely appreciate just how sincere you are and the passion that you have for this issue. But what I can say is this: when it involves a bank, and this is the problem, the property has been in the family for 50 years. And you go to the bank and you get a loan. So the property was free and clear. Your grandparents, it's from your great-great-great-grandparents. But you now have gone to the bank, gotten a loan on the equity of the property. So the bank loaned you $100,000. But you made, I'm just giving you a hypothetical, you've made an agreement with the bank now to lend you cold cash in your hand. And the agreement that you made is you're going to pay them back every month. Now, that agreement is between you and the bank. So if you renege on your part of it, I know it sounds pitiful. I know everybody's feeling bad about it when that happens. Oh, they're going to take the property. But what I'm saying is, I know that when people are putting you out of their place, like renting or whatever, it didn't just happen in a day. It didn't just happen overnight. So the problem is you've made an agreement with the bank, and that's how the banks end up taking your property, because you've made an agreement and they've given you money. And so they've given you money and you've reneged for whatever reason. So it was at the beginning of the problems that you were having that you needed to be very, very I guess aggressive in trying to find a solution, because just in this last year alone, mortgage interest rates have gone up like I started the year with say I started the year with $1,000 mortgage. I didn't, but I'm just saying. Say I started the year with $1,000 mortgage. My mortgage now would be $1,500. So within a year, it's gone up $500, and maybe even more. And I hear everybody saying that. The point is, it doesn't matter if I can afford to pay that $1,500 or not. I made an agreement with the bank. So the bank is looking for me to pay them every single month. So I need to either get into the bank and try to make arrangements before it gets out of hand. The problem here is it's probably so far gone that the bank has started to do foreclosure stuff, and it sounds like they have a sale for it. And it all sounds very sad right now, and I get it. And I know that he doesn't want to lose the property, and he wants it for his children. But this problem did not start right now. So right now, it's very far gone for anyone to step in and assist, because it doesn't sound like he has a down payment. It sounds like he has arrears. So what you're saying that the 20 whatever the thousands of dollars that he has for a down payment, it's not. It's for arrears. But when it's gone past a certain point, the bank is like, no, we're done with this. We're done with this. We have a buyer. So now it's sad, but that's how it works. So unless the bank then says, okay, listen, we're going to backtrack. We're going to go ahead and take your money back. We're going to take your money. We're going to fix your loan, put it in good standing. We're going to now tell the person who purchased it from us, we're now going to renege on our agreement with this new person. The bank is probably going to get in problems. And remember, you know what the bank is thinking? The bank is thinking, you have arrears of $20,000. That means your pay history is not the strongest. So do we really want to give you the benefit of the doubt by taking this money and going back with you into this relationship that we had that you reneged on? Or would it be better for us to go forward with a new person who is not going to give us any problems? The bank is not emotional. They're not thinking about how long your property was in your family's life. That's you to be thinking about that. That's how serious property is. So in other words, my mortgage might have gone up $500 or $800 in a year. I either will lose my property or I'll pay for it. And so that's the problem. And so if I make a decision to not pay for it for whatever reason, I'm going to lose my property. And it's going to be really sad, but it's a decision I'm making. So the nails that I used to do, or my hair that I would get done, or whatever I would spend my money on, I might have to tighten my belt to get through this. I might have to get a second job. I might have to, rent out a room. There are things that I might have to do in order for me to get through this problem. I'm just saying things don't just happen like that. So that's the thing. And we can't even look at the bank as a bad guy if we're going to the bank and asking the bank to lend us money. Because when they lend us money, that's cold hard cash in our hands. And we have an agreement. And the agreement is, you're going to pay me back, right? And if you don't pay me back, then I'm going to do this. And that's what's happening.
Yeah, and I quite agree with you 100%. And I kind of understand and grip the fact that there's something behind it. Otherwise, that why they're doing it. I clearly can understand that. But my advice to him, if he's listening, would be for him to get a lawyer in order to see if that could help him in order to get this.
I don't know.
To get it stopped.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the best idea. You know why? Because now you're telling him to incur more charges. Like you're telling him to pay more money out that he may end up losing.
No, but what I'm saying is, if he feels like it is something that he basically himself can't take on and can't handle, that he needs assistance and help from some other source, that would be his only choice then, would to seek a lawyer. But the lawyer will probably tell him the same thing: is did you allow this thing to relapse, causing this problem?
I'm almost certain that's probably what happened. And it's very sad. It is very sad, but it's over a period of time. The bank does not take away your property right away. Like literally, if you have a mortgage and you don't pay for 5 months, right? You times that 5 times, if it's $2,000, 5 times 2,000 is $10,000. So you now owe $10,000, but it's because you didn't pay your $2,000 a month mortgage for 5 months.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
So right now, I'm understanding he has the money, but it's gone so far. So I think
that the bank not accepting it.
Yeah, exactly. The bank is now saying, look, like maybe last month or 2 months ago, we would have taken this because it wasn't in the spot that it's in. It is very complicated, trust me. But that's the problem.
It is.
Because even when people get foreclosure, like somebody, you bought a car, you didn't pay for it, and they took the car out of the yard. And you're like, oh my goodness, how I lost this car, but I still owe $15,000 because they loaned you money to pay a car dealership. So the bank loaned you money in your hand to go to a shop, a store, and spend the money there and drive out with this lovely car. Now you and the bank have business. You and the car, people don't have business anymore. You and the bank have business. So the bank says, no problem, I'll lend you this money to buy this car, but every month you got to pay me for 5 years. So if you renege on this agreement in 5 months, 6 months, I'm going to take that car out of your yard. And you're still going to owe me money because you borrowed $20,000 from me to buy a car. You see, sometimes everybody, the people that are from the outside looking in, they're like, oh my goodness, this is terrible, poor thing. But you have to think about this is a business arrangement. So there's no emotions in it. And that's why it's so important to not get to that point where things are so perilous that you cannot reverse them. And that's the problem. And when I heard you say that the bank is the government set up. They set up the bank, but it's a bank, so they have the same rules. In fact, they have better rules. They have they give us more of a break. Those kind of rules, but it's still a bank. They still have to function, and so the government can't step in now and tell the bank what to do because the bank is functioning as a bank. And so it helps us with rates and with opportunities that the regular commercial bank doesn't help us with. But the government does not have the right to get in there and say, nope, you can't take that person's property. Because that bank will say, well, they didn't pay us for 6 months. What do you mean? So if the government wants to bail people out, that's fine. But do you know now the problem that you're getting into? You know how many people are going to show up and say, well, I need you to bail me out. I haven't paid for 6 months. Well, why haven't you paid for 6 months? Because on the other side, you have, out of 100 people, you got 80 people paying for 6 months, but you got 20 people that haven't paid for 6 months. So we're going to bail those 20 people out. Then those 80 people on the side say, why am I paying? I might as well don't pay if y'all out there bailing people out. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand clearly what
Very
you're saying.
complicated.
And one of the other points I want to make before you go on is this. What I was trying to explain.
So if you want to hold on, because we're going to go to the news. Let me take a break for the news. Just hold on, and we'll come back. Okay? So you can hold on, and I'll come back to you. We'll take a quick break. Talk today. News coming up.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. The RCIPS and Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage are advising the public of the following road closures to facilitate this year's Pirates Festival activities. On Monday, November 13th, Seafarers Way will be closed between Goring Avenue and Cardinal Avenue. The intersection of Seafarers Way at Shedden Road will also be closed from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And Albert Panton Street and the eastern section of Cardinal Avenue will be closed from 6 a.m. on Thursday, November 16th to 6 p.m. on Sunday, November 19th. In international news, Meta will require political advertisers to flag when they have used AI or digital manipulation in adverts on Facebook and Instagram. The social media company already has policies on using deep fakes in place, but says this goes a step further. From January, adverts related to politics, elections, or social issues will have to declare any digitally altered image or video. The worldwide policy will be moderated by a mix of humans and AI fact checkers. Thousands of minor earthquakes have raised fears in Iceland of a possible volcanic eruption. Over 20,000 tremors have been detected by the Icelandic Met Office since late October, with 1,400 in the 24 hours to midday on Thursday. The heightened geological activity led to the famed Blue Lagoon being closed as a precaution. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio K-Man's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell, I'm sitting in for Sterling this afternoon. I don't know if my caller held on. I think I saw a couple of more callers, but you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right. Thanks for holding on. So you understand what I was trying to say, yeah? I think it's just taking what I tried to do was to just take the emotions out of it, because obviously if you're looking at a person with children and the property that has belonged in the family, and you want to leave something for your children, at this point it's tough to look at it this way, because the business part of it is completely going to be devoid of any emotion. And if
and not cutting you off, Catherine, but I'm familiar with the procedure of what happens with the bank in those circumstances. I am very acquainted with it, but my take was on it, and I would love to get more information, and I didn't want to get too caught up in his personal agenda with this. But
because that is what's happening. We're discussing somebody's business over the radio. So that at the end of the day, that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah. So basically, what I was saying was, what the bank should do is, they know that really and truly that financially he not financially stable with work and a salary, so they should have come to agreement with, because banks fluctuate, and 1 minute you can pay it, next minute you can't pay it. That's basically the key.
Banks don't care. Banks are not in the business to care, though.
Exactly, they're not there to help us. They're
not
there to help themselves.
No. I'm not saying that. I won't say that. Because I appreciate First Caribbean International Bank that has allowed me to pay them every month from my home. And I will say that at any point. I've gone back and I've gotten some more money to build some stuff onto my house. I appreciate them for being in my life, because if I did not have that, I would not have been able to get property, because my family didn't have money to leave me. I didn't have, you know what I mean? It was because of that agreement that I was allowed to purchase property and be able to build my wealth. So I won't say that banks are not in it to help us. They are in it to help us, but they're a business. So they're in it to help us, but they're also helping us for a reason. It's just like I open a store and I'm going to sell you some goods. I'm not selling you goods just because I want to help the community. I also want to make some money. So I'm going to sell you a nice shirt, but of course I didn't buy the shirt for $10 and I'm selling it to you for $10. I bought it for $10. I'm selling it to you for $15, for $20, because I want to make a profit. So banks are businesses. Right? They're not the bad guys. That's the thing. And they could do better. And yes, it would be great when our the interest rates change and stuff like that, but we can't look at them as if they're the bad guy. So it's how do we work from this standpoint on, right? Recognizing that you have a responsibility and there's no emotions involved. I'm not sure if the caller's there. Okay, so we'll go to the next caller because I don't hear the caller. So let me go to the next caller. Good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Alice May Cole. How are you, Miss Kathy?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, very thankful. I was just catching bits and pieces of the talk today, and so many different subjects being touched on.
Right.
And the most recent one here is Mr. Raymond Scott's difficult situation. By the way, today is his birthday, and I think he's 61 years old today. And I think Mr. Scott is well known to all of us. We'd hear him calling on the radio and his involvement with rescues at sea and keeping in touch with shipping lines and everything else like that. So he has been good to the Cayman Islands. Yes, people get in difficulties with banks and lending institutions, and none of us can pass judgment and come up with the solution on our own. But it is unfortunate that somehow a refinancing of his loan could not be accomplished.
Right.
I mean, in normal business, banks do that. Yes, you've got to have a job, you've got to have income, etc. But refinancing, then, because the bank makes money, the bank is a business without a doubt. And my understanding that it is the Cayman Islands Development Bank, I'm not 100% sure, that's involved with his loan situation. But it is unfortunate. And in a perfect world, it would be wonderful if his two MPs from the BRAC were able to sort of club together and say, okay, let's help one of the people who put us back in the House so often. I presume he voted for one or other of them. That maybe they could come up with a personal refinancing package. People do that. You can get loans from individuals and individual corporations. Anybody can lend money. You can't take deposits and pay interest, but anyone is able to lend money.
Right.
And I would hope that some solution could be found. Yes, nobody is absolving Mr. Raymond of his responsibilities or anything like that, but many people fall on hard times. And I think his work, if the best of my knowledge, is heavy equipment, and he does all that kind of thing. No, whether he's been able to work, and is that why he didn't keep up with his payments? I don't know. I have not talked with him. It's just over the years we know of different things.
Right.
But I do hope that his MPs are listening. We don't expect banks, people to break rules. No, the law, to me, you abide by the law.
Right.
Just like barbed wire keeps our cows from straying out on the street. Laws are there to protect us and provide parameters within which we have to work.
Right.
And I am aware that Mr. Raymond's house property is beach property. And you know how everybody wants to grab that.
Right.
So there would be absolutely no, hesitation, somebody grabbing his property.
Right.
And you do know that when you are in default with the bank, that the bank wants to recover the money it's owed. They're not worried about the value of your property.
Right. There's no
and
emotion.
Whether there's extra left over for you to, buy yourself a sandwich and a cup of tea, but they want to be paid back.
Right.
That's the business of it.
So,
and we know that realtors and developers and individuals are always anxious to get property. And you say beach in Cayman Brac, in the Cayman Islands, there are more than enough willing buyers to do that. So I just wish that we all knew all of the facts so that we could really analyze it. But in the meantime, one thing that's come to me, and I know nothing about how this is done, I see people setting up GoFundMe things. You may know about those.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, something like that. Something needs
I
to
think,
be
Miss
done.
Alice May, I mean, that was, really great that you were just offering some really good solutions. I think at this point, the problem is when it gets to this point, you do have to do some of the things like what you're saying. So yes, someone needs to step in at this point. So like you're saying, the MPs or whoever, that's why I said, go and advocate for him at the bank. That was the first thing that I said to the caller, that maybe someone needs to go sit down I think it was the first caller. It wasn't even the second caller. Go sit down at the bank and see what the situation is and see if you can advocate for him. And I think that would be the perfect thing to do at this point, actually, when it's gotten to this point where, it's no emotions. It is a business. So I believe that's what needs to happen. Because I don't think, from what I'm understanding, it's not the money that's the problem.
Well, like I said, neither I nor you know all about it.
Right.
I mean,
right.
you know,
Exactly.
The bank knows its side. Raymond knows his side, and I have not spoken to either of them.
Right.
But, hearing all the bits and pieces going on, not just today, but it's been happening now for quite a while. And it would be a shame for one Caymanian to lose a piece of beach that's been in his family for generations, presumably. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that we can renege on our responsibilities. But, we always hear people praying and whatnot about being your brother's keepers and looking after others and all of the Christian things we're supposed to do. And I think it would be a golden opportunity for any of the MPs, but in particular the two BRAC MPs, to put their heads together and say, how can we help our constituent? Not to give him something, but a refinancing package at affordable new monthly payments for him. Work something out.
Right.
And
right.
I think from the Christian perspective, that would be what to do.
Yes.
No, that the second. And just the other thing was Emancipation Day. I remember, I'm going to be 78 in January, so I remember way back when we kept Emancipation Day here in the Cayman Islands on the 1st of August, because we were aware that on the 28th of August, 1833, there was an act for the abolition of slavery throughout the British colonies. And that was to promote the the freed slaves, etc., etc. And all persons who on the 1st of August, 1834, were to become, and who were on the register as slaves, and to be 6 years old and upwards, shall from that day, the 1st of August, 1834, become apprenticed laborers. And then there was a period of apprenticeship, whether it was 1838 or 18, but it certainly had to be, the apprenticeship had to be completed. It was not to go beyond the 1st of August, 1840. I think perhaps it was 1838 that might have happened here in Cayman. But I've never heard of us doing anything in May. And like I said, I'm only 78 nearly, so I don't know all the things that happened before. But I do know that the Cayman, we celebrated the 1st of August. And it sort of abolishing the Discovery Day, which of course emanated from way back when. We remember the 23rd of May, used to honor about the 23rd of May. We used to celebrate as Queen Victoria's Day. And that, of course, was previously called, or maybe even at that time, Empire Day. So we kept that as a holiday. And that evolved into, over the years, into Tree Planting Day, and then into Discovery Day, and who knows, it might be other days as well, but we're at Discovery Day now. And now to get rid of the Discovery Day because we feel, oh, well, the world knew all about the Cayman Islands a long time before Columbus came, I'm not so sure, because none of us were really around. I don't think we should get rid of one important date in our history.
Right.
As the discovery of the 10th of May, 1503, or whatever it was, that it was cited as all the turtles surrounding it, in order now to drop in the Emancipation Day. If you want to really remember our history, have Emancipation Holiday on the 1st of August. Mind you, that means we'll have a holiday nearly every month of the year, which we all enjoy.
Right,
we
right.
realize that businesses too are impacted by holidays, etc.
Right.
But if we're going to go to the Emancipation Day, and there's no question about it, there was slavery. We had slavery here, but with a population of just a few thousand people, there weren't too many slaves. It was probably a half and half in the slavery days. And we didn't have agriculture the way, say, even Jamaica had. So the slaves were a little bit different. I'm not saying they weren't harshly treated or anything like that. Again, you and I weren't around. And I think the 1st of August, and I will speak to Honourable Mr. Burney somewhere along the line.
I think that would be a great idea. Miss Alice, thank you so much for calling this afternoon. I've got to take a quick break. Where were you this whole week? I needed to talk to someone. You have this wealth of knowledge. My goodness. Thank you so much for calling this afternoon. You have a great afternoon. Great things to think about. Absolutely. And, great suggestions also for the situation with the gentleman in the BRAC. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back with more Talk Today.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Freedom, Cayman Rack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That unlike the no-gets, ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand-bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. Well, I am on the home stretch. Catherine Tyson Sewell, I'm sitting in for Sterling this afternoon. And Susan thinks I can hear her when she's talking to me, and there's all other sorts of stuff going on. I can't, so I don't know what you're saying. I just see your lovely face. That's it. Okay, so I had some late birds come in. I'm very upset, by the way, because I really was looking forward to speaking with this guest, and I thought they were coming tomorrow. It's my mistake, obviously. I will take it. But Tony McInerney, got
there
it.
You go.
From the Strongman competition. He was in on Monday. We were talking all things Strongman. I have been plugging this event, Strongman, November 13th, Holiday Monday, 1 to 5. Lion Center, $10 adult, $5 kids, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I've been pushing it because I'm like, I'm going. And I wanted
and you're
to
competing, right?
No, I'm not. I'm watching. And I was talking about Travis Ottmeyer, but apparently it's Ortmeyer. And I was looking forward to this big conversation. And so Tony picks him up from the airport and takes him to Pepper's to eat. And now they come and give us a few little minutes. Anyway, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome. Thank you for having us. Welcome. And welcome, Mr. Travis. It's not your fault. It's the Cayman kind fault. We both came in kind. Welcome to the Cayman Islands.
Well, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
And welcome to Talk Today. We're very happy to have you. Now, talk to us a little bit about. We don't have a lot of time, so I want to hear some of your story because it's a good story.
It's a big story. It's a long story.
All right, come on.
But we'll condense it real fast.
Nutshell it. All right.
Okay.
And welcome to your girlfriend Ashley. Yes. Hi, Ashley.
Hi. That's her.
Okay. Good.
So, my story, I guess it kind of starts out with me being a fat kid. I grew up in Southern California. I moved across the country when I was 10 years old to South Georgia, and I did not fit in, so I was bullied relentlessly. And that went on for a few years. In that time, I just turned to weightlifting. I don't know what it was. Something about it just drew me in. And I'd lose myself in my garage every day after school. Fast forward a few years, I started to get pretty good at it. And then I happened across a strongman competition. I had a friend who wanted to go compete, and being his training partner, I was going to go and help him out. And so we're driving up there. It's a 6-hour drive from Houston to northern Texas for this competition. And I remember my friend saying the whole time, he just didn't want to finish last in this competition.
Right.
So he's signing up, and I'm talking to the promoter. And the promoter he talks me into signing up. I said, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. And that's when my friend looked up from his paper, and he said, man, I'm glad you signed up because at least now I know I won't take last.
You'll be last. Friends.
That was a defining moment in my life. I didn't know that I was that competitive until he said that.
I am not going to be finishing last.
Exactly what it was. But the next day, I'm out there competing. It's August 2nd. It's hotter than hell. It is miserable. And it was the absolute most fun thing that I'd ever done in my entire life. Wow. From that moment on, I was obsessed. I remember I was dreaming about it every night for the next 6 months. I would feel the events in my hand. I'd wake up sweating. I was obsessed.
Just the whole competition part of it. Just
everything
it was the
about
adrenaline, right?
Well, it was the challenge. It was the people. The camaraderie in strongman is unrivaled by any other sport. It's just something that you see guys helping each other, direct rivals, really helping each other, giving each other tips so that you can bring out the best in your fellow athlete.
Yeah,
because it brings out the best in you. And so I was completely obsessed with this sport. And after a few years, I made it to the World Championships. Rose to the top very quickly.
Did you finish last?
No. He actually, didn't finish that. I finished 5th place, and he did indeed take last place.
Oh, no.
He kind of self-fulfilling prophecy.
Are you still friends?
We are, yeah. It's I beat him for 10 years, every single competition after that. But he also...
Sure you're still friends?
Absolutely.
I'd have a problem.
Well, we both ended up making it to World's Strongest Man.
Nice.
He made it in 2009. I went from 2005 to 2011.
Wow.
Rose to the top. I competed very hard. I competed harder than any other American. I was doing about 20 competitions a year, at least half of those in Europe. So a lot of travel, a lot of time away from home.
Wow.
I was kind of burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
And, I was training hard. I would push through injuries. I would compete hard. I would compete injured and beat up all the time. And it just got to a point where it kind of took its toll mentally.
Right.
And then I got a pretty bad injury at the World's Strongest Man 2010. Halfway through the finals, I broke my ankle. And I was in first place at the time, so I was not about to give that up. And I fought the next day through the last 3 events. I still took 5th. But that injury took a toll. It hurt all the time for like the next year.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I started to hate training. I started to hate competing.
Oh, wow.
I resented it. This thing that drove me so long, that was just my passion, my fire, was dying. And I got
was
to
that
the
like
point,
your job at the time?
Yeah.
It wasn't a job. You didn't have another job. This was your job.
I did a little bit of personal training on the side, but that was my obsession.
Okay.
I was gone so much. I haven't had a real job since I was like 20 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're being paid for it, right? Is it sponsorships and stuff like that?
Competition prize money usually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
So-
now you're at this point in the story, you're kind of done with it now. At that point.
At about 2012. So I'd been pushing hard for 10 years.
Yeah.
And that injury just took so much out of me. Like I said, I was starting to resent it. And I lost my passion for life, and I stopped training. I stopped focusing on competing. And that just left this huge gaping hole in my life. And if you're not prepared for something like that, that hole is going to be filled by the worst things possible.
Something.
And,
yeah, for sure.
I was drinking too often. I would take painkillers too often, and that led me down a road of harder drugs, and I lost myself to a meth addiction.
Oh,
And,
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty
This
bad.
story is just getting better and better. You see?
There's so many details. We just got to speed through
That's
it. but
awesome, though. Yeah, no.
It's
You're going to take us through getting out of that. So come on,
That's
we're still
it.
with you.
That's it.
We're
All
still
right.
traveling.
Hang on,
Come
we're still riding.
Come on, yeah.
So, during that 10 years and like 2011, 2012.
Oh, Tony, this is the time you bring him. I'm still mad. All right, go ahead.
We're getting through it. We got this.
Let's do it.
So the last few years of me competing was like a gradual slope downward. Once I had the meth in my system, that was like falling off a cliff. My
Right.
life started to spiral out of control. I lost everything, everyone. My family turned their back on me. My friends turned their backs on me.
Yeah. It's hard to hang on when somebody has an addiction like that, because that's their life.
Well, and it was, I was one of those people, I didn't take my anger out on others, but I definitely took it out on myself. And so it's hard to love someone who doesn't love themselves.
Right.
And that's kind of where I was.
Right. Well, with drugs anyway, it's either you love the drugs or you love yourself. You can't. It's not both.
It takes your soul away. It does.
Drugs are selfish. Like, you got to love me. Everything is for me. It's horrible,
Yeah.
but that's it. So that's why people can't hang on.
Well, it's like that Buddhist saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have
Right.
to fill your cup. You have to love yourself in order to pour from your cup and love others.
Right, for
You
sure.
know, and drugs like that, it's like drilling a hole in the bottom of your cup. There's
Yeah.
never a chance of filling
It's
it.
going to keep pouring. So, come on. How are we getting there?
It was about 4 years of no longer training, not even close to competing, completely lost in this just hell that I had created for myself. And like I said, I lost everyone, friends, family, my career, and it got to a point where I lost my house. Now, I knew that my house was about to be taken. It was about to be foreclosed on. I was about to be kicked out.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I had this idea that I was just going to put all my misery in the house. The house was a prison, a symbolic prison. And I knew I wasn't going to get myself out of this prison, but I was about to be forced out of it. So when they came and they kicked me out, it was kind of bittersweet. It hurt. It sucked to be kicked out of your home.
Right.
That's not a fun thing to happen.
Right.
But in the back of my mind, I felt free. I felt this freedom. And I ended up living in a storage unit. It's actually a storage unit where we trained the events for 10 years prior. And the owners knew me. They kind of looked the other way when I was sleeping there. They gave me a place to kind of get myself together.
Yeah.
At this point, I was starting to kick the habit. I'd already started to kind of taper off of the meth. I was trying to just free myself completely.
Right.
And then I got to a point where I had saved enough money. I was going to go out and see my parents, who had moved from Houston to Reno, Nevada, which is about a 2-day drive. And I finally saved up enough money. I packed my truck with as much of my stuff as I could fit in the back, and I took off.
Say goodbye.
Yeah, it took 10 days to get there. I stopped where I wanted to stop. I ate where I wanted to eat. I saw the Grand Canyon, spent a couple days there.
Yeah.
It was an amazing drive.
Yeah, it sounds healing.
It was, so I got to the Grand Canyon the night of New Year's Eve at about 11 p.m. It's pitch black. You can't see anything.
Right.
So I'm in the park. I'm driving around. There's snow everywhere. I decide I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to pull over. I'm going to rest for a little bit. And I just find a parking spot, and the next morning I'm woken up by the sun coming up straight in front of me, and the Grand Canyon laid out in front of me.
Wow.
New Year's Day, 2016.
What a way to start the year.
It was magical.
Wow.
It was,
just imagine.
Yeah, it was one of those things. It was kind of like God telling me that it was going to be all right, and I was in the right direction. You know, and I made it to Reno. I didn't have any more meth with me. I tapered off. I got it out of my system, and that was the beginning of starting over.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so quickly, you got back into it, or
Yeah.
what did you
So
do after that?
I remember at one point during this ordeal, I asked myself, when is this going to end? And this voice quickly responded with, you're going to start over. And I knew what that meant. So when I did my first strongman competition, I was 227 pounds, which is about 103 kilos. The first day I went back to the gym was January 7th, 2016. I was 227 pounds. I had lost every bit of weight. I lost about 55 kilos of body weight, 110 pounds.
Wow.
And yeah,
Okay.
but I started over.
All right.
And I had that passion again. You know, it just felt good. And I had this thing in the back of my mind that I was going to get back to World's Strongest Man. And it took me a few years, but I kept fighting. And I got back to World's Strongest Man 2021.
2021.
I did something that no one has ever done before.
And how did you do?
I didn't do as well as I wanted to do, but I have high aspirations.
Well,
you know, I was there, and I had a
the
very
fact that you were
respectable
there.
performance.
Yeah.
I did well. Great performance. You know, it was more about completing that cycle, that circle. You know, it was a 10-year gap from World's Strongest Man appearance to World's Strongest Man appearance. I set a record for the longest time apart. So
just getting back there was probably the win.
it was a win in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you, that story just resonated in so many ways, and I'm sure that the listeners also really got a lot from it. I'm sorry that we can't talk anymore. I'm sorry that we don't have any more time.
No problem.
I'm very mad with Tony, and
I know, shame on you.
I'm just very, yeah, he could just forget it.
Shame on you.
And I have been plugging the event to Susan, by the way, so everyone knows that it is the Strongman competition. It's November 13th. It's holiday Monday. It's from 1 to 5. It's at Lions Center, and Travis Ortmeyer is going to be there.
Yep, we're going to be there. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yes, and he's also going to be speaking to the schools tomorrow.
Correct.
Which is going to be amazing. Thank you for, at least bringing him by. At least you might not have brought him by. One thing I'll give you a tip, though. Cayman time does not exist in Radioland. Radioland actually has a real clock, and it works. Everywhere else doesn't, but thank you so much for joining me, Mr.
No
Tony,
problem.
for bringing this lovely man and his lovely lady. And I definitely have to come out to this competition. I've been saying I'm going to do it, but I am definitely going to do it just because I want to see, what's happening. And congratulations on all of your journey. And
I appreciate that.
The beginning, the middle, and coming back. Listen. Hats off to you.
I walk this road so that others don't have to.
Yes, exactly. And that's lovely. And thank you for coming to Cayman and sharing that with our young people. I think there's someone waiting to talk to you, though, if I'm not mistaken. No? All right. So we'll see. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon on Talk Today. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Take care.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
I found a love